I'm very happy to announce the artistic director of the Schaubühne Berlin, Thomas Ostermeier, to be our guest in this online talk. It was so nice that he accepted the invitation, and we are here now and have the chance to talk about the shocking experience we are living as theater makers everywhere in the world. And with this shutdown circumstances, especially theaters as a place of interaction, a meeting point for people, is affected most among other cultural industries. So I like to ask you, Thomas, first, thank you very much, really. The second things, we will be talking now half an hour long, the change that we have confronted as theater people. I would like to know your reaction to pandemic period, in the coronavirus period, and the actions you have taken in Schaubühne. I'm sure you are in the moment of changes. What are the precautions you had to take, and will this change the, of course, the artistic policy?
Well, this is a whole catalog of questions. I mean, what we've all experiencing in the last 2 months is constant change, constant development. When we started with the lockdown, we had to cancel our festival of international new drama, which was to open 2 days later. So 2 days before we had the beginning of our festival, we had to cancel it. When we canceled it, I told the spectators and the medias, we are going to repeat the festival in September. We are bringing it in September, because in the first moment when the lockdown happened, I thought it's a question of a few weeks. Not more than that. Now we are facing a situation where, which is pretty desperate, because we understand that this threat will accompany us for maybe even years. Yeah. There's no more possibility to bring the festival in the fall. We don't even know if we can bring the next edition of the festival in April 21, because we don't know how the situation develops. Then what happened was that I think, probably one of the first theaters in the world decided to put all the recordings of the shows, of the famous shows of the last 60 years, where we are lucky enough to have recordings, to put this online and to continue with an online program, which we did. And now we are streaming every night between 6 and midnight another production, which is very professionally done, meaning 95% of the shows are done for television, and the other 5% are done in a professional way. And we have very recent performances which we stream, like even one of my last shows. It was my last show before the lockdown. My last show, which premiered, which is Youth Without God in Salzburg Festival, which we are also streaming, or which we streamed, I think, twice now, which is done in a professional way, even though it's not done for television. And then there is, more or less most of the classics of my period. Even Sascha Waltz contributed.
Yeah, I saw Knife in Hands from Baraka.
And then a very old work,
yes,
which I also watched, and I told myself, oh, luckily you have developed, because I find it a little bit like a beginner's work. And other shows like Hedda Gabler and Richard III and Hamlet and Returning to Reims and so on and so on, and all the famous works of the period of Peter Stein, like the Three Sisters. We had Ostermeier. We had a beautiful production of Backchen by Klaus Michael Gruber, The Mother, Per Günd, and so on and so on. So for those who are interested in theater history and in contemporary strong performances, we provided an online program. And since I think it's more than 3 weeks now, we are every day before the streaming, the people have at 6 o'clock the opportunity the another contribution, which is mostly international writers, philosophers, thinkers, writing on their view on the situation, where we had, amongst others, Didier Eribon, Annie Ernaux, Washti Mouawad, and a lot of other relevant voices. And I do believe that this promoting of writers and of their view on the situation, for me, is pretty important. And the other thing I'm doing the whole day is trying to invent scenarios how to perform, which concerns the audience, how to respect physical distancing in the audience, how to respect physical.
Do you work with architects? I mean, to try to create another kind of space?
No, we work together with our technical department, which is more engineers, to find a solution.
The trauma of this period is not outspoken yet, and how do you plan the future? I mean, for instance, here in Turkey, we plan the future day by day, actually, and we don't see the kind of it's a short time period all the time. It's a bit performative in a way, isn't it?
We are planning at the moment to go back in front of an audience mid-October, but we are planning for the beginning to only show monologues. And we are not going back in front of an audience before October because, first of all, till the summer, it's not allowed to perform. After the summer, beginning of September, for the moment it is allowed, but we have a reconstruction of the theater. We have a reconstruction actually of our air condition, which is lucky, because this air condition is like state of the art, and air condition is very important now with the virus, in order to provide good circulation of the air in a closed space, which reduces the danger of infection. And we are pretty lucky to have this reconstruction.
Yes, you're lucky. And there is also a plan also here. We just heard that we are trying also to find ways. But I want to ask you something else. All these repertories, I mean, the archives that is proposed now, and it's online everywhere, Schaubühne, National Theatre, New York, you know, and it's now, it's very easy to access for people all around the world, and also the theatre makers, as you said. Now it's the time that everyone is coming together in a way. I mean, having the history very quickly. You know, you get to know the pieces. You don't have to be there in Berlin or in London to see all this. And now I'm online with you. This is very interesting time, because the third dimension is in a way got lost, you know, because we are online. But also this parallel way of being together, a kind of is also there. So there is negative parts and also a positive parts. What's your view about this? Because now I can see all your and Schaubühne's productions, you know, day by day, and I get, of course, a kind of acknowledgement, a kind of history about, and familiarity, you know, a kind of familiarity of the things what you're doing there in Istanbul at my house. As a theater maker or a young theater maker can have this opportunity. This is a positive, you know, a kind of coming together, globally, a theater makers coming to having a kind of history together, kind of artistry, but also it's the depth is missing. I mean, this coming together is missing. What do you think about this, and what this kind of reality will bring in the future? What is your opinion?
Well, first of all, I have to say that for me, this is only valuable as something for a emergency state. So we are in a state of emergency because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown, because of the fact that we cannot perform live. So in order to provide audiences with theater, we put this up. But this can only be for a certain period of time. This will never replace theater in general. And of course, this moment of the lockdown and of the break should be for all the privileged people, but also for the privileged and progressive politicians and artists. This should be a period of study. This can be a period where you sharpen your tools of analysis, sharpen your tools of political theory, but also sharpen the tools of your knowledge of the history of the art in general, or of the art form you're working in. It's a perfect time for study. It's a perfect time for theory, and hopefully we all leave this crisis more powerful and with a lot more knowledge than before. So we can take advantage out of it. Mm-hmm. Another advantage might be the fact that we share our legacy with other parts of the world.
Yes.
But we have to be careful, because this is again the history of the powerful. You know, there are beautiful cultural treasures in other parts of the world which are not online because they are living in post-colonial situations, and they never had the chance to record their cultural rights. Yes. And their cultural heritage. So they cannot share this with the community. We have to be very careful to tell the history of mankind to be the history of Central Europe, who has a history of theater for a lot of decades or centuries even, and to then believe this is the history of theater. This is not the history of theater. This is the history of a certain privileged part of the world. And why this part of the world is privileged is due to colonial atrocities over the last centuries. So I would also see African Indian, Arabian, Middle East, Far East, Southeast Asian contributions of their performance culture online, and they are missing.
Yes, well, from my perspective, from Istanbul, is also a part is missing. Most of the part is missing. Not only Africa, but also Turkish productions, because we never had the chance to produce it online, like as you said, with, I don't know, many cameras, not only one camera for archive, to see the actors how they worked, and to make them, you know, remember their work. But we never thought, or we had never chance to have this online progressive, you know, kind of brilliant, online theater archives. But then I can also think of, as you said, there is another history is written now online in a way. There is a kind of rush of writing another art history with putting all the archives on. And, you know, but this is again one opposite side and one positive side. One positive side is me, like the other countries, like having this opportunity to see how it's evolved. But there is also one thing that, yes, if I see, I mean, one after another good examples of theater, then there is another way of artistry is again proposed. You are right in there, but also I think this kind of communication, not only theater productions, archive productions to be seen, but also these discussions like me and you online is another way that the theater makers can get a kind of connection and a kind of language that they can create again globally, maybe to come together in the future for other proposals, you know. So it's yes, vice versa, you know, one side is many things to think of, yes, as you say, like theory.
Tell me, what's the situation in Istanbul?
Yes, the private theater situation is very difficult. There is trying still after 3 months of shutdown, we're still trying to find solutions. I am not from the private theater sector, but the private, I'm talking now for them. They're trying to have a kind of ways to survive, actually. But there will be some. We are working on that. I mean, they are working, and we are supporting as municipal areas. I am from the municipal theater. There will be ways, of course. We are trying that. But in Turkey, in Istanbul, I think we have a lot of traumas, one another. I mean, on top of each other. It's economically, culturally, politically, plus the pandemic. So it's a lot of things to have and to talk about. I think after we lived, I mean, the trauma that we live now, we are shut down for, I don't know, my son, the children are shut down for 3 months at houses. So this will be talked about in the future, I think in the near future, and there will be a lot of different texts, I think, to be written, and the theater, the text, the idea of writing will change, I suppose, because yes, from one child's perspective, staying at home like 80 days is something, a big trauma that they're living, and the old people.
Do you think that this pandemic will worsen the political situation in Turkey, because they take it as an excuse to have more laws on going out, on military in the street, or what is your situation?
It was difficult, and it's getting more difficult. But also yes, this silence, I don't know what will happen in the future, but the traumas that we are living is not easy. Yeah, people are mostly trying to have their survival. I mean, this is a survival energy that is now going on, you know, because there is this the real economical crisis there. Even the theater makers are in the crisis. So the first debate is survival debate.
Yeah. And when going back in front of an audience?
We are thinking because we have a nice air and the hot weather. I think we will have open air proposals, but not like a big coming togethers, like more the small unities, you know, groups of audiences. But open air, the idea is more open air till, I don't know, till October, November. We will push the season, the summer season, let's say, a bit longer, and we'll see. It's the short plans all the time. The plans are.
And are you, after the open air period, are you planning to go inside in November?
Yes, and we're planning and we're thinking as you are, but maybe seeing what the other examples are in the worldwide, to see how to open the space. Yes, this is thought. I mean, we like to, we want to do theater, and we want to create a space so that we can invite also the private sector, the private theaters in, so that we can share the space together. This is one proposals and thinkings that we have, thoughts. So hope to see you one time, because I know that your touring is ended. I mean, you canceled or postponed your tours, and I think the theater will be more focused now regionally, don't you think? In a period of time.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the biggest losses for international theater makers, which is I hardly see a scenario in the close future where we go on a plane and perform on another continent. And this is very depressing, very, very depressing. We had to cancel just recently. We canceled Madrid, London, Luxembourg, Amsterdam, Lisbon. We were supposed to go to New York for the first time was Hamlet, which you in Turkey already saw, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6, 7, 8?
I think 2017, that means yes.
No.
3.
More than 17.
2014, sorry. 6 years.
Yes, 14,
yeah.
Yes, 14, that
Wow.
makes sense.
New York will see, won't see
now,
actually.
After 12 years of Hamlet, New York was supposed to see it in this autumn, in November, but no, we cannot go. I mean, it's not officially canceled, but I don't believe we will go there. And but I miss Turkey, to be honest. I miss to perform.
We miss you too, Thomas.
I know that there was a big discussion around us canceling Richard III, but that was a very difficult time for our two countries, and I had to protect and be responsible.
From my side, it's understandable, because you're not only a director, you're also the responsible person for a company. So,
it's true, and we do have in the company, in the technical team, we do have people with a Turkish background, migrational background, and I did not feel that I could assure 100% safety for them.
Yes, at that time, I think this Turkish origin journalist was in prison. Yeah, it was difficult times. It is still difficult for us. So yes, hopefully we will, yes, work together again and see you in Istanbul or in Turkey.
It would be so. I would be so happy, because for me, Istanbul is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and I definitely miss it, to be there and to be in front of Turkish audiences. And I don't know if you ever saw this trailer, our video clip about Enemy of the People in Istanbul. Have you seen this?
No, the clip, I didn't see it. I will see it now.
You can see it. You can see it on our website.
Okay.
It's constantly, the last few years. You go on Mediathek on the website of the Schaubühne, and then you go on Enemy on People on Tour.
Okay.
And there you can see a recording, a documentation on Enemy of the People in Istanbul. And this is, wow, this is incredible. What the audience members have been saying already that time, what happened in the audience, amazing, amazing. So this is my recommendation for Turkish audiences. For the time being, being in front of us and waiting to meet again, I recommend every Turkish audience member to go online and see this little clip of 15 minutes.
Yes. This is in my mind. I keep it in mind that you're willing to be here again. So we will be in contact, hopefully, but hopefully this pandemic will not so much affect the future more. The future of the theater. So thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you, Emre, and all the best for you and your theater and your country.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.